Every single sales methodology can make you a millionaire or be the reason you fail to close the deal at the same time. But the reason why some sales professionals swear by one methodology while others call it completely useless is simple: timing and context. There's honestly no one size fits all. And why would there be? There are different scenarios and different buyers in the world of sales that will require, well, just a different approach. So don't focus on mastering a single best sales methodology, because the real skill is to know how and when to use each of them depending on the situation. So today I'm going to show you how to pick your perfect sales approach to pretty much close more deals with your specific buyers. Methodology number one: the challenger sale. The challenger sale simplifies selling by addressing hidden problems buyers didn't even know they had. Acting pretty much as a sales professor, you educate them about these issues and present your product as the perfect solution. The process unfolds in pretty much about 6 steps. Step 1 is the warmer. This is where you get your buyer pretty much nodding by describing their current situation. Step 2, the reframe. This is when you hit the prospect with a surprising new angle about the problem, something probably they never even considered before. Step 3, rational drowning. Now is actually time to show the buyer the money they're actually losing because of this issue that they haven't solved. Step 4, emotional impact. Stories stick. In this case, you share a real example of how this problem hurts their company. Step 5, a new way. Now they see the problem and they feel the pain. So now it's time to show the buyer the specific changes they need to make in order to pretty much solve this issue. Step 6, your solution. Now, this is your big hero moment. This is where you introduce your product as the ultimate solution and the key to making the changes they need to make. Now, who's the challenger sale for? The challenger sale is ideal for selling new ideas or standing out by highlighting unique strengths and educating buyers about hidden problems they didn't even know they had. Experienced sellers with marketing support pretty much excel here. And the only downside is that it might not be the most beginner-friendly methodology. But don't worry, because we'll cover one that is beginner-friendly in just a second. Methodology number 2, MEDDIC. All right, next strategy on the menu. Now, this one's a bit different. Imagine, for example, just for a second with me here, you're selling a giant laser drilling machine. Not exactly an impulse buy, right? And that's where MEDDIC comes in. Think of MEDDIC as your roadmap for navigating these super complicated sales. It's a 6-step process to make sure you don't miss pretty much anything crucial in the sales process. Now, here's the gist of it. Step 1, metrics. This is all about pretty much the money. Can you quantify the savings or increased revenue that you can deliver? Step 2, economic buyer. Who holds the strings to the money? This isn't always the most obvious person, so you got to do your research to find the big boss, the big decision maker that actually has the buying power. Step 3, decision criteria. What exactly are they looking for in this machine? Is it all about speed, cutting edge technology? Knowing their priorities pretty much helps you tailor your pitch to make it as perfect for them as possible. Step 4, decision process. Sales don't just happen in a vacuum. This step pretty much digs into their internal process. Who needs to approve? What hoops do you have to jump through in order to get the deal done? Step 5, identify pain. Every company has problems. Now, what's keeping them up at night? How can you and your laser machine help those headaches? Step 6, the champion. Find your internal ally. This is the person inside the company who gets it and who sees the value in your massive laser machine and will champion your cause to decision makers. MEDDIC excels in complex sales with multiple decision makers, helping you navigate corporate bureaucracy and target the right people with the right message. For simpler sales with fewer stakeholders, it's a little bit overkill, like almost using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. So simpler methods work a little bit better in those cases. All right, hope you're hungry. Next on the menu, solution selling. Solution selling is about asking the right questions. Think of your sales almost as a Sherlock Holmes. You're digging deep to uncover customer problems. Here's the gist. Solution selling uses a 9-step questioning process to identify your prospects' biggest pains and problems. Think of it almost as a, let's say, a roadmap to their business struggles. The first three steps are all about diagnosing the problems. Start broad, letting them share what's keeping them up at night, and then slowly we'll narrow down. Then we'll actually start asking specific questions to pinpoint those issues and summarize to confirm you're pretty much aligned. Step 4 to 6, reveal the impact. Show how the problem hurts their business. Begin with general questions, dig deeper, and summarize again to show you're actually listening. The last three steps is all about crafting the solution and the vision. You start broad by asking them to imagine the ideal fix, then subtly introduce your product as the perfect solution to their needs. Solution selling is best for complex sales with intricate problems and solutions, right? Like selling custom software to a corporation. It requires asking detailed questions to understand their unique needs, as a simple pitch is just not enough. The next methodology is what you need if you sell strictly online. Methodology number 4, inbound sales methodology. Alrighty, next up, inbound sales. I personally love this one. I mean, who doesn't? Now, remember how things have changed. Buyers are way more informed these days. They can research anything online before ever talking to a salesperson. Inbound sales takes advantage of that. It's all about attracting them to you, not the other way around. Now you understand why I like it so much. Inbound sales works in pretty much 4 stages. Stage 1, identify. This is where you find the perfect prospect, the ones most likely to be interested in your product. Imagine it like, let's say, casting a net, but instead of catching everything, you only want to catch the specific fish you know will taste the best. I like salmon myself. Stage 2, connect. Once you got your ideal prospects, you have to make a connection. Show them you understand their problems and that you actually have valuable information to share. Stage 3, explore. Here's where you learn all about their world. What are their goals? What challenges are keeping them up at night? This is all about figuring out if your product is the perfect solution to their problems. Stage 4, advice. Now you know their specific situation. Now you can become their trusted advisor. Show them your product is the unique solution they've been looking for all along. This is where you land the big one because it's just a natural fit. So, is inbound sales right for you? Look, inbound sales thrives with strong marketing and buyers actively searching for your solution. It flips the frustration of cold calls and cold emails. However, it's less effective for complex products or engaging with, let's say, high-level executives needing a more proactive and consultative approach. So, if you're the sole player, buyers will find you naturally. Now, if you prefer flexibility, the next strategy is pretty much gold. Next up, the Sandler selling system. Now, this one's been around for ages and honestly for a good reason. Invented by David Sandler way back in, I think, 1967, it's all about flipping the script on sales, putting the buyer in the driver's seat. Here's the core idea. You become a trusted advisor, not a pushy salesperson. Check. You have to convince now the buyer that they have a problem your product can uniquely solve and that it's a top priority for them. Now, there are about seven steps to Sandler selling. Step 1, bond and build rapport. This is all about getting to know your buyer and building trust. It's not about fake flattery, it's genuine conversation to understand their needs. Step 2, upfront contracts. Now, this might sound fancy, but it's not. It's just about agreeing on the next steps. You got to keep the conversation moving forward so you both know what to expect. Step 3, pain. Here's where you uncover their weak spots, right? Their tender spots. What are their business struggles? How are they currently losing money or missing opportunities? Ask questions to pinpoint the biggest pain points. Step 4, budget. Now, not in a rude way, but you have to make sure they have the resources for your solution. It's like planning a family weekend trip. You gotta know you have the right cash for the cabin rental, right? You don't want to sleep in the woods unless you do. Step 5, decision. Based on everything you've learned, you have to ask yourself, is this a good fit? Sometimes the answer is no, and that's okay. It's honestly better to walk away than waste time on a dead-end deal that is going nowhere. Step 6, fulfillment. Now you can present your offer, the solution to their problems. Make it clear how pretty much your product fixes their pains and problems and solves their needs. Step 7, post sale. The sale isn't over yet. You have to stay connected, make sure they're happy, and watch out for any competitors trying to swoop in last minute. Now, is Sandler right for you? Here's the thing, the beauty of Sandler is that it's super versatile. It works for almost any sales situation, from high tech gadgets to, let's say, business consulting services. The key is building trust and becoming a valuable resource to your buyer. Next up on the list, spin selling. This is pretty much the advanced cousin of solution selling. It uses targeted questions to uncover customer issues and highlight their impact. Think of it as, let's say, diagnosing a patient. You ask the right questions to reveal the problems they may be facing. Now, SPIN stands for 4 types of questions. Situation questions are all about understanding the buyer's background. Let's say their industry, company size, and current goals. Think of it as pretty much small talk before diving into the real issues. Problem questions are where things get a little bit interesting. Here, you ask questions to get them pretty much talking about their struggles. What keeps them up at night? What are their roadblocks right now that they're facing to their ideal situation, their success? These are like pretty much gold nuggets you need to find. Implication questions might be pretty much my favorite. Here, you help them see the true cost of the problem. Is that low productivity causing them to miss deadlines and lose money? These questions make them feel pretty much the burn about the negative implications that they're facing. And finally, we end with need payoff questions. This is where you nudge them forward towards your solution. You get them to pretty much imagine how much better things could be if the problem was, well, pretty much solved. Imagine asking your sick friend how much better they would feel if they were healthy again. Is spin selling right for you? Spin helps customers realize the cost of their problems. Similar to solution selling, it's perfect if they downplay their issues or see solutions as costly. The key is to ask the right questions to guide them towards your solution. Methodology number 7, conceptual selling. Now, for this methodology, it pretty much emphasizes understanding your customer's world before even pitching. By asking the right questions, you uncover their needs and position yourself as a consultant offering solutions, not just features. It relies on 5 key questions and types of questions that you need to ask. Confirmation questions are like double checking your homework. You have to make sure you're understanding what they've already told you, right? And this is a big part of active listening as well. New information questions are gold mines. These are the ones that get them talking about their challenges and goals. What are their pain points? What are they trying to achieve? Attitude questions help you see things from their perspective. How do they feel about their problem? How do they think your solution might fit into their entire system and their team? Commitment questions gauge their interest. Let's say, for example, are they serious about solving this problem? How actually invested, are they in finding a solution? Basic issue questions might seem negative, but they're actually incredibly helpful. By asking about potential roadblocks, you can address them before they become deal breakers. Conceptual selling is pretty much ideal for complex sales requiring a deep understanding of challenges and goals, like, let's say, selling marketing software to corporations. For straightforward sales focused on features, this may be slightly overkill. This is ideal for that complex sale. And speaking of complex sale, let's talk about target account selling, also known as task methodology. This one's for getting those big fish, those giant dream accounts. TAS is all about research and strategy. You have to identify your ideal customer profile, those companies that are perfect fits pretty much for your product, and then you have to imagine you're a hunter, but instead of tracking deer, you're tracking high value clients. Now, here's what you're hunting for. First step is account intelligence. What's going on inside this company? Are they expanding, facing any challenges? The more you know, the better you can tailor your pitch to them. Next up is marketing intelligence. What's happening in the industry as a whole? Are there any trends that might affect your target accounts? Stay on top of the current market to really predict their needs. You almost want them to feel like you have a spy on the inside and you're pretty much reading their mind. Next up, competitive intelligence. Who else is trying to sell into these companies? What are they offering? Knowing your competition is key to standing out from the crowd. Then we have primary research. Is there anything else you can dig up? News, articles, financial reports, and even social media. All these can give you valuable insights in order for you to pretty much maximize your chances of closing a deal. TAS is perfect for big B2B sales with long sales cycles and many decision makers, like selling custom software to the Fortune 500, for example. It requires in depth research to address unique needs and outshine competitors. For simpler, shorter sales, TAS may be overkill, but it's invaluable for a high stakes deal. And last but not least, champ selling. This approach turns customers into product champions by solving their problems and delivering a clear ROI. It emphasizes value over features, positioning as a customer success manager, not just a salesperson. Now, CHAMP is an acronym and it stands for, let's start with the C, challenges. What are their biggest pain points right now? This is the most important part. You have to understand their problems before you can offer a solution. Next up, we have authority. Who actually makes the buying decision? You have to know who you're talking to and who signs the checks. Next up, we have the money. It's always about the money. Now, it's not just about how much they can spend, but how much they're willing to invest to solve the problems. Pretty much, is this a priority? Which brings us to priority. How urgent is their need for a solution? Do they need a fix yesterday, or can they wait 5 to 6 months? If they can, it's probably not a priority. Next up, process. What's their buying process like? How many people are involved? Understanding these intricate details helps you navigate the sales smoothly and effectively. Now, is CHAMP selling right for you? CHAMP is ideal for complex B2B sales, especially software as a service. Selling, for example, marketing automation to a large corporation, then you need to understand their challenges. You need to understand their decision-making process, and you need to understand their budget and prove a return on investment. For simpler sales, CHAMP, again, may be a little bit overkill, but it's perfect for turning those B2B customers into product champions. Want to close more deals and avoid those painful sales mistakes? Don't just stop here. Click the video playing on the screen right now and keep making selling simple. See you next time.